Oh my god, that was like four straight sneezes. Um, yeah, Dream Warriors. 31 Days of Dread, day 20. Day 20. Yeah, we're going to rock and roll. We're talking about Teeth. This was a movie that was long on my list, and I'm so happy finally got to watch it. I'm here to talk to you about it. So, hit that music. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So, uh, like stuff knows I got congestion. I listened to the playback of the intro already because I was just curious. Ow. I just sound so different. I sounds like I got tissue shoved up my nose. But yeah, I'm not recovering from being sick. I rarely get sick. It's been a few years now since I was like put out of commission to the level that I had to call out of work or couldn't go into the office, like bedridden. It's been about, I would say, about 3 years for that. The last time I was actually not like really knocked out, and it was I'm pretty sure it was a Monday, but it was a food poisoning I got a few years ago during the Carolina, might have been the uh, Carolina Panthers championship game. I'm just going off of memory, it might have been against the Seahawks, and had Domino's pizza and got food poisoning from Domino's, and it knocked me like that. That was the only time too where I had food poisoning for more than one day. A couple of the guys I work with in Center City, Philadelphia, shout out to Center City, Philly. They got food poisoning from somewhere from a barbecue place in right near where we work, and they were out for like a week. So I don't know what the hell that was. I know very few times do you hear about people getting food poisoning that lasts more than one day. But yeah, so recently it's not that I have been sick. I just been congested, coughing, sneezing, and I think I'm on the eclipse of that. We're moving past that, so which is good because so a lot of the previous episodes or days of the 31 Days of Dread, yeah, I'm kind of like going through something. You can hear it in my voice. You can hear me coughing, but yeah. So we're talking about a really good movie here, and boy, I've been saying that a lot. I don't know why would you purposely want to watch bad movies when you when you got to discuss and review 31 movies? Why would you? So I kind of knew this movie was good. It was one of those movies that was like literally on my Netflix watch list for seems like years. I remember when it came out, people talked about it. People said you have to watch this movie, and then something disturbing happened. Something a little bit sad is that the movie completely fades away. It doesn't become a part of the horror lexicon, and this movie is so close to Shivers that we spoke about earlier. It's a small, it's a contained, it's a sexually, it's a sexual driven movie. The plot device is a sexually transmitted disease or event. Well, like we can definitely say, in this case, it's a event. For It Follows and Shivers, it would be a disease, even though it follows. Like, is that a disease? Kinda. I don't know. But yeah, so like, if you want to do a horror sex trilogy, it's Shivers. It's going to be Teeth, and it's going to be It Follows, and that is one heck of a trilogy. And just speaking to you about this right now makes me wanna. It makes me want to watch It Follows right away. Again, And I've only seen that once, and that is one of the movies that's on the list for the 31 Days of Dread. I'm not 100% if I'm going to get to it, because there was a block I wanted to do of kind of like horror, because I'm thinking about like some themes now going down the stretch here. I wasn't before, but we got correlations. Like we got Stephen King themes. We got uh, we have failed franchise. I'm sorry, crushing movies. So, and we have a Stephen King theme. We have David Cronenberg theme. We can actually do a Cronenberg Stephen King crossroads with Dead Zone, starring Christopher Walken, and that is on my list. We're also behind in releasing, and I say this because there's episodes in queue that I have to engineer out and to publish, and so everything's just behind. There probably will be like a day coming up where it's just like an onslaught of releases, and if you follow me on Instagram, AKAPAD 13, or on Facebook, AKAPAD, you'll definitely get info on what's happening with those releases, and what maybe some of the holdups are. But yeah, so I don't know. Like part of this middle block I wanted to do, which determines if I can get to Dead Zone or do It Follows, is like horror. Pretty much like reboots. So I wanted to do like Blair Witch. I wanted to do the Friday the 13th, and I wanted to do Rings. And all those are available. I just bought Rings on Amazon Instant. It was only $5, and Rings is already gone. Like I don't know hardly anything about that movie. I don't think that movie got much coverage. Blair Witch did when it came out, and oh geez, potentially even do the Evil Dead remake or update or reboot or whatever continuation. I just want to examine some of those movies. Already that's 4 movies, and we're going down to like the final 11. So it's a substantial block. But yeah, so yeah, like how does like this movie came out in what year did it come out? It came out in 2007, and so we're still dealing with the early days of everything. MySpace was more prominent back then. Uh, Still, most information on the net was shared within forums. You had to know where to go for things, like sites like Chud and AnyCoolNews.com. They were like the movie driven, horror driven forum kings. So yeah, so like movies like this just kind of they come out, they get good word of mouth, and they just die, pun intended. So the plot for Teeth is that this woman develops teeth inside of her cookie, her vajayjay, her vagina, and her cookie gets teeth, and it bites the penis off of perpetrators, we'll say. This is a tough movie to talk. Maybe like that could explain how this movie went away. It's a tough movie to discuss. It's so this woman she's a woman of God. She's a God fearing woman. She's not having sex. She is among the church, and she is somewhat of a celebrity within her inner, like her racket, we'll say, and I say racket favorably. And there's adulation around her for her abstinence, and I thought that was like a very cool point to have. I thought it was a good position for her. It just made her character so much better. I think because now we're setting up this. It's like we're setting up this path that you don't know how it's going to unfold once we cross a bridge, which is when she first has sex. So she lives a life of no sex, and yeah, I'll tell you one thing: for a person who does what they do, meaning myself, I'm gonna brag a little bit. Yeah, you know what? That could be the way to go, because it's so much work. It's so much work. Like I'm talking to you at 5:21 a.m. because I was just about up all night. with this one female, and we had a hell. Oh my god, we had a hell of a time. But essentially, had to go through work, two meetings the following day. She ended up staying home, didn't even go in because she was so blasted, and but but yeah, and like I come home, I'd leave, like I kind of leave as early as I can, which is like around 4. So I slept out at 4, got home, I was probably sleeping by 5:30, maybe 6. Did some things, did some prep work for Dream Warriors, but relatively crashed out with nothing getting completed or continued in a substantial level. And yeah, wake up around 3. And I'm behind. I got to record. I got to do all these other things. Ship for eBay. I got a proposal. It's about it's a good size proposal. Like it's good money, and I haven't even got into that yet. It's just stuff. It's bad stuff. But so I'm all for our title character not having sex. Dawn O'Keefe is her name, played by Jess Wixler, who I looked up before sitting down, and yeah, nothing notable. Same as our director, Michael Lichstein, and it's so upsetting. Both accounts. The girl in this movie is so good, fantastic. Really sells the performance. She sells the angst. She sells the hopelessness, the desperation, and the awakening. There's like a rise of her by the end of the movie, and I was hoping that's where this movie went. But yeah, just to go through some of the roller coaster of the plot. I mean, roller coaster story wise, not that the movie's up and down. Yeah, she kind of, we were gearing up to her having sex for the first time, and when this happens, it's exactly as it should unfold. It's exactly as it should be. And what continues from that point is now we have a deconstruction of her and her way of life, and from her inside, like from her gut, from her soul, almost. There's a unraveling of that, which changes her, which makes her change her like even position and what she wants out of the world and how she views herself in it. So by the end of the movie, we're really we're in like a cool spot. I thought this movie ended perfectly. I thought like her family pretty much just implodes, and like her home life and everything, and like that's a part of putting her on this path. uh and it's so interesting watching it for the first time and just seeing what the beats were and just really how one scene, one event flowed into the next. Again, very natural type storytelling. I think the movie, Michael Lichstein did a hell of a job on directing. These performances are very natural. The movie also has a really cool opening, like music wise. The movie was made for about 2.7 million. We'll just say 3 million. It's a $3 million movie that barely made back $3 million. And the opening of this movie is important because the lesson to be learned there real quick is that you don't need like a giant orchestra to set a mood, to create a little bit of atmosphere and even like urgency within a title sequence or within introduction. And and title sequences double for like they stage the mood, they can tell some of the story. Like the opening credit sequence for this is very similar to even something like X-Men Apocalypse, where it's trying to tell you something, and catch you up and just really set the moment up of where we're going to be when this movie starts. And I loved it. I even loved the opening for this movie. I thought that the credits were great, and the music. It was just done. It's what they used part of the $3 million for some of the music, and then they got good music. So yeah, I mean, we're dealing with another scenario of a film that just does it, like just did something, and it did it great. And the biggest crime, all of you out there, is you haven't seen Teeth, you haven't told friends about it, and you don't put Teeth on your horror movie top shelf, which it definitely is. I think for this type of movie, that's kind of like psychological. It's psychological, different of how 1922 was, the yesterday's movie. 1922 is straight up psychological thriller with a horror ghost haunting element that is subtle at best. This is psychological within the, like, it's almost like culturally psychological within the culture of our time, within the culture of the characters, and it's a unnerving of that. And I don't know. I mean, there's very little else to say this, to describe this movie as, because the character does turn. The girl in this, her like her life mission, her position in life evolves. It changes. And as an audience member, we're pretty much better for it. Few movies, again, like we're dealing with like more bang for your buck when we watch movies like this, mostly because one scene flows into the next and moves the plot along perfectly. We're talking John Carpenter's Halloween level type unfolding and storytelling, where it's perfect, it works, and there's a reason why Halloween will always be discussed. Not that it's still discussed today; it will always be discussed. Teeth is it's one of the best. Might be the best movie, pound for pound, that we're going to talk about in the 31 Days of Dread. And yeah, I think that's everything, people. Please watch this movie. Please check it out. I'm begging you, on my knees. I'm begging you. But no, you'll enjoy this movie. There was a couple times where I just was like, oh my god, I just had to turn away because I'm cringe. I'm cringe worthy. There is definitely prosthetic penises. There's plenty of penises in this movie. If you're into penises, you see them. They're there. So most of them are bloodied and on the ground, but they are there. There's a great scene with a dog and a penis. If you have to know, I don't even want just talk about it. This is why this movie does not get spoken of. You cannot. Word of mouth does not favor this movie, but check it out. I'm going to leave you guys. Everyone have a good day, have a good night, and we're gearing up for 31 Days of Dread, day 21. And I'm you know what? I'm going to just say it right now, because I'm such in the mood to watch this movie. We're going to do Tim Burton's Sleepy Hollow for day 21, and that's very, very exciting, because that's a very impactful movie for me. But yeah, signing off. Have a good everything. See you, people.